Okay, so welcome to Euron everyone, and welcome to our very first lecture of Big Data Masters. And in today's lecture, which is our very first lecture for all of us with respect to a big data. So I would like to talk about what is big data, by the way. So what kind of a data we can say as a big data. So can we say a gigabyte of data or petabyte of data or maybe a terabyte of data is equal to a big data? What should be a correct definition for a big data? All of these things we are going to understand. So let me share my screen and let's try to talk about that. What is, by the way, a big data? As its name suggests, that big data means obviously a large volume of a data. But this definition is not true all the time. So let me write it down over here, that what is basically this big data is. So knowing the definition is very much important for any one of us who is getting started with the big data. And this is where we all are going to help each other to understand this philosophy, that what kind of a data is actually called as a big data. So initially, when people were trying to define a big data, so they have taken a 3 V's concept. And then in a later stage, as per the analysis or as per the different situations, so which has evolved in between, people have started talking about a 5V concept, a V, right? A 5 V's concept. So if some data set is going to fulfill this 5 V's philosophy, so I am going to label that kind of a data set as a big data. And those 5 V's philosophy I'll be talking about over here, so that I can make you understand that, okay, this kind of a data is actually called as a big data. So I'll not take much of your time, but yeah. So here, the very first V that we generally talk about is basically called as volume. Volume, or you can say the scale of the data. So the scale of data. So volume is a very first key factor, or you can say a very first V by which you will be able to define a data set as a big data. So for example, if I'll talk about a Facebook famous example, so Facebook generates on an average a 4 petabyte of a data per day. So this 4 petabyte or MB of a data or KB of a data, we can try to define a volume, right? With the help of these parameters, GB or T, even starting from like a KB. So KB, then MB, and then GB, then petabyte, then zettabyte, then terabyte. And by using all of these parameters, we always try to define the massiveness of the data, a volume of the data, or the scale of the data. Now, so when we talk about a volume, so obviously we talk about its storage, right? Because we have to store this much amount of the data. So obviously we need a massive storage, and after a storage, we need a computation, right? We need often a computation. So the reason behind talking about a volume is very simple, that, okay, so if my volume is going to increase, then what kind of a system I should put in between by which I will be able to store it and by which I will be able to do the computation. And this is where the concept of Hadoop and concept of Spark comes into a picture. So whenever volume comes, so concept of Hadoop and Spark comes into a picture in general nowadays, right? So where Hadoop system, a Hadoop file system is going to help you out in terms of storing a data into a distributed manner. Now, many of us are not aware about like what is the meaning of distributed manner, but yeah. So distributed manner, and then again Spark is a data processing engine. So it is going to help you out in terms of processing a data. Now Hadoop is basically a file system which is going to help you out in terms of storing a data into a distributed manner. And then on top of it, so you can try to call n number of different kind of a engine. So maybe a MapReduce, maybe you can try to call a Spark itself, maybe you can try to call a Tej engine, and then you can try to process a data in a effective manner. So again, when I say volume means a size of the data, these are the system which will come into picture. And now this volume, which is one of the parameter, right, which is one of the parameter to define or to label any data as a big data. Yeah, in data as a big data. So volume is a very first parameter. Now, second part or second V is something called as velocity. So basically it's called as velocity. Yeah, velocity, a speed of the data, obviously. So the speed of the data. Yeah, so velocity. Now, so let's suppose we are receiving a data with a certain speed. Maybe we are like receiving a data maybe in a real time from a IoT sensor. So we have a lot of sensors in place. Let's suppose I am receiving a data from a CCTV camera, so which I have to process in a real time. So maybe a 60 frame per second or maybe a 30 frame per second. Maybe someone is trying to do a transaction through your card, and we have to detect immediately before even authorizing a payment that whether it's a fraudulent transaction or whether it's a non-fraudulent transaction. So all of these sums up towards a speed, towards a velocity of a data, that okay, fine, data is coming from this particular speed inside my system. And then on top of it, so we have to basically build a system so which will be able to process those data set, which will be able to store those data set in an effective manner. So velocity is again one of the factor by which you will be able to define a big data, right? So, and where like a real-time streaming and processing becomes very, very essential. And this, by using this velocity, so we can try to define any kind of a data set as a big data. Now, the third V, right? The third V is called as variety of the data. Variety of the data. So we are living in a world so where there are a lot of different system which produces a different kind of a data. For example, so we can try to even take example of a system like a Twitter or maybe a Facebook. So where you will keep on producing a different kind of information in terms of a tweets or maybe in terms of a comments, in terms of a post, in terms of a like, share, subscribe, all of these data. Or maybe we are receiving some sort of a data from a PDF kind of a system. Maybe we are receiving some sort of a like a Excel sheet kind of a data from some of the system. Maybe we are receiving a CCTV footage in terms of frames, in terms of images. Maybe we are receiving some sort of a sensor data, right? Or maybe some sort of a JSON data or maybe XML data. So there are different kind of a variety of the data we use to receive in a system. And we have to process all of those data. We have to process all of those data and store it somewhere so that someone will be able to run the analysis. Someone will be able to extract a meaningful information, and that variety, whether it's like a PDF or maybe from a sensor that we are receiving the data, JSON file, maybe a XML file. So basically a structured data or maybe a unstructured data or maybe a semi-structured data, all of these things falls under a variety. Yeah. So the diversity of the data I can write down over here, that the diversity of the data which defines a variety. Now, so there is a fourth part, and the fourth part is called as veracity. The fourth part is called as veracity. Now, these three, the very first three V that I have talked about. So basically this first three V was introduced in a very early stage to define any kind of a data set as a big data. Then this fourth and fifth V's was added, and the fourth V is basically a veracity, and fifth V is basically called as a value. Now, what is the veracity? What is the meaning of this veracity? So here, in a simple term, we can say that the trustworthiness of the data. So the trustworthiness data is been labeled as a veracity of the data. See, we are receiving a lot of data from a variety of the system. Even when you go and open up your mobile app, any app basically, and then you try to make one click, you are generating a lot of data even over there. Whenever you come to the web and then you click something, you are generating a data. Whenever you go and ask some question to the LLMs, you are generating the data. Whenever you are doing some sort of a social media like activities, you are producing a data. So every time whenever you are interacting with the digital world, you are actually generating a data. But does all of these data set requires to be processed? Does all of this data set is going to give you some sort of valuable information? No, not all the time. And does all of this data set you can trust? Because nowadays we have seen that with the help of AI, people are able to generate even a fake data, right? People are able to generate even a fake data, or you can say a synthetic data, a lot of fake data which is out there, right? And again, even like a majority of the companies are struggling a lot in terms of identifying the data set as a fake data. That's pretty much like we all are aware about it. So now the trustworthiness inside a data, a genuineness inside a data matters a lot. Otherwise, that data is of no use for me. Doesn't matter what is the volume of the data, what speed we are receiving the data, or in what format I am receiving the data. It is not going to matter at all if there is no veracity, means if you can't put a trust on top of the data. Otherwise, it will become a kind of a fake news, right? A fake news, the way we have seen over a social media again and again with respect to a different kind of a event, which will always try to manipulate a humankind. And we don't want that kind of a data in our system. So trustworthiness is one of the very important factor, and this was the V which was added in a later stage. Now, so, and as the system grows, right, as system is growing, as system is getting bigger and bigger, more connected and connected, it's very difficult to literally find out a trustworthiness of the data. So sometime everything looks fine to us, and sometime everything looks false to us. And yeah, so again, we are living in an era where these events or these kind of things we see a lot many times, more frequently nowadays. So veracity of the data also you should consider. You should take it into account. So whenever you are trying to define any kind of a data as a big data, if there is no veracity, then you can't label that data set as a big data. As simple as that. Doesn't matter what is the volume, what is the velocity, and what is the variety. Now, the fifth V that I'm going to talk about is a value of the data, right? A value of the data. For example, so we try to scrap a lot of data from a website, right? From our internet. There are a lot of like a web scrapper companies which is available, which is like you just go and like put up their URL nowadays, and then you will be able to scrap all of those data set. But is this particular data adding some value to your business? Is that particular data adding some value to your day-to-day life, or maybe to your client, or in any way it is going to impact in a positive manner, obviously, to your company? If not, that data set is not having any kind of a value, as simple as that. So value means what kind of a value? The business impact. So maybe I have a trillions of records. That's completely fine. I have a billions of records. I have a petabyte or zettabyte of the data. But it's of no meaning unless and until it is not going to give me some sort of a value to my own business in which I am, right? Maybe that big data is going to be valuable for some other businesses. That's completely fine. I'm not worried about that. But yes, unless and until it's not generating a value for me. For example, so many people try to, sell a lot of like phone numbers. Many people try to sell over the internet itself. You will be able to find out that many people try to sell phone numbers, or maybe a leads, maybe a email ID. Now, so maybe they have collected those leads, they have collected those email IDs for some different business, right? But they are trying to sell you, and maybe the lead which is available inside those data, right? Those data are not your right prospect. So in that case, even if you are going to acquire millions of records, millions of email IDs and phone numbers, it is not going to even give a dent in your business. Now, it's of no use, although it is having a volume. Let's suppose frequently you are receiving those data with a variety, and even with the trustworthiness that, okay, so those phone numbers and those email IDs are basically a legit one, but still maybe they are not your real customer. Maybe they are not your real prospect. So in that case, you will end up rejecting, you will end up discarding that big data, a huge amount of the data. So value, the business impact is very much important. Unless and until some data set is not going to give a business impact, you are not supposed to, literally, right? You are not supposed to consider that data set as a big data. So when you are going to combine all of these 5 V's all together, then this any kind of a data, you can label it as a big data. So whenever you are trying to check what kind of a data I can label it as a big data, always keep only one thing in our mind, that all 5 factor comes into a picture, and you have to evaluate your data set based on all of these 5 factor. Then only you can say, then only you can label any kind of a data set as a big data. As simple as that. So hope this is making sense to all of you guys, and with that I would like to conclude your very first lecture. I would like to welcome all of you in a Big Data Masters, where we are going to learn a lot of things going forward as per your syllabus. In a best possible manner, in a simplified manner. I'll try to explain you each and everything. We'll try to do more and more practical. We'll try to focus less on a theoretical part. So unless and until it's not very much required, so we will not try to involve any kind of a theoretical understanding over there. So with that, thank you so much. Welcome once again, and let's begin our journey for a big data.